Hi, welcome to Matt Holman Golf. We'll take a look at Charlie Wee today. I think he uses the stack and tilt style. I know he sort of tried different methods, and for him personally, he really felt his ball striking improved when he went to sort of more centered method, maybe a slightly deeper arm plane. I think Sean Foley definitely takes sort of elements of that, and no question, look at players like Justin Rose has really improved going to a little bit more of this method. I'm really interested looking at all the methods. I looked at the Golf Machine and Mac O'Grady, Mike Bender, Stack and Tilt. I've done a lot of work with the David Ledbetter coaches and Butch Harmon, and I think actually they're more similar than a lot would think. I've noticed a lot when I go to America, especially sort of college tournaments or junior tournaments, and you'll see guys doing the stack and tilt system, and to me it's just too exaggerated. They've exaggerated the movements too much. I think Charlie's a great model for that. No question, it's more centered. But I see guys sort of leaning, 6-8 inches, massive reverses, hitting their drivers maybe 10 feet off the ground. And from what I can see from reading the book, watching the best players that use the method, it's certainly more towards that way, but certainly not as exaggerated as a lot of coaches or players have thought and have interpreted the information. So my understanding of the stack and tilt, it's not something I've thought lots and lots about, but it's sort of originated from Mac O'Grady, Golf Machine, Mike Bender. I've taken some lessons with Mike Bender, and he's worked a lot with Zach Johnson. And the style sort of originated from there's a golf course north of Orlando called Timaquan. That's where a lot of those ideas and I think the original sort of founders used to hang out. So let's take a look here at Charlie's swing. So I really like it. It's a very simple movement, orthodox setup. I like the sort of straight legs feel that they talk about in terms of setup. I think you'll see with Charlie, it's definitely sort of the handle working across close to the right hand thigh, and I think you see this look very much David Ledbetter teaching this in sort of talks of his A swing there. It's very much hands in, club out, club face matching the left forearm or the spine there. So I think a lot of these coaches are taking elements. I think what you'll see compared to some methods, the left arm's a little deeper. You're going to see maybe in some other methods the arm staying the centre of the chest a little bit more. To me, both can clearly work. And in my coaching, I will really look at a player and see what model they're nearest to naturally, and then try and work around that model. I mean, this clearly works. Obviously Charlie's a great player. So, it's a short arm swing. The arm plane's just slightly lower than the shoulder plane, and you see this sort of look. Jim Hardy talking about his one plane method, two plane method. So they're all sort of interlinked here. I think what makes a lot of sense to me, especially with the irons here, is where they start sort of with their weight a little bit more through their lead leg than some methods, and then they stay very sort of centered there. So you can see, Charlie's very much sort of stacked there, but it's not a reverse forward. He's not sort of 6 inches slid forward. He's just stayed very centered. And I think the theory makes a lot of sense to me, especially in some amateur golfers. They have these huge moves off the ball. We've got to hit ball then ground. If you've got this huge move off the ball and you never make it back to the ball, well, you hit a long way before. So I'll often, especially in beginners, get them swinging more in this style, a much more centered look, lots of foot together work, just to simplify the movement. To me, this is a very simple way to swing. It's great pressure forward through the lead leg. It's very much a covered movement. So saying the David Ledbetter, Butch Harmon method, they would have you moving off the ball a little bit more, and then returning back to that point. Having said that, even when I work with Claude Harmon and Kevin Smeltz and Sean Hogan, the main Ledbetter coaches, it's a lot less movement off than a lot of the books, that they've published, or maybe where it was even 10 years ago. So I think this is the classic sort of stack and tilt movement, a bit more, reverse C. We sort of stop the arm swing. I love the way the face is restricted. The one element I personally feel is a little unnecessary is the finish to be so held, especially for a full shot. Look at Charlie on the way down. I mean, it's compressed in his angles. His chest turns. The club's out in front of him. I mean, really, whatever method we're looking for, the downswing is very similar. I mean, this is really, to me, as good as it gets. Forearms match up. Swings the handle around his left hip pocket. Look how passive the club face is. I mean, you're not going to do this any better. And the way it exits under the armpit. Again, if we looked at, say, an Adam Scott, he's going to look incredibly similar there. The difference is now he's just going to allow his chest, his hips, the right foot there to keep releasing through. He's going to come more out of his posture. In this method, we tend to then sort of hold off the follow through a little bit more, stay in that sort of spine angle more to finish.